Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. My name's Asha. I'm a mom of two boys and I do lots of stuff. And also this channel makes little to no sense sometimes because I do so many random things. But that's okay. Stick around because I want to talk to you about publishing children's books independently. So in the last 23 days, actually it was 20 days total from start to finish, I published 3 children's books. Now these are the samples that I got of said children's books. I'm waiting on my author copies to come, but the books have been published. They are selling and I'm really shocked that they're selling so quickly, but that's awesome. Praise God, right? I wrote my first story, which is this twin cousin's birthday. This is actually a really personal story to me. It's the series Rajanadasa is based on my brother Taj and our 3 cousins, Tristan, Kevin, and Becky that we grew up with. So any story that you read of the Rajanadasa series will more than likely be something that actually happened when we were growing up. So that makes it fun. However, it made it really personal to me, and I wrote this story 6 years ago, and it took me this long to publish it because 2 things. I did not have any kind of budget for illustrating, editing, formatting, nothing. I didn't want to spend not one red cent because I just didn't know what I was doing and I didn't want to get taken, you know? So I decided, now here we are 5 years, 5.5, 6 years later, that with the blind faith of my husband, who did spring for about $200 of art supplies, and you don't necessarily need that, but he just really wanted to encourage me, I think. Aside from the art supplies, it's just been time. Over time, I've been teaching myself how to draw. I couldn't draw a stick figure, and if I can find my very first drawing of a person that I tried to draw that I got like laughed at so hard by my friends, I'll post it, but I don't know if I can find that anywhere. But I just practiced. I practiced, and I got really close to publishing, and then I didn't. I really only, in that whole time, had only completed about 4 drawings for this book, and this book is, I think, 37 or 39 pages. But that's including the back matter and the front matter. We'll get into that later. But yeah, so I really hadn't gotten very far, and I think my fear was really stopping me. So my first tip for and the first thing that I really had to do to get my book published was just to be fine making all the mistakes. And I did. And what I did is I woke up one day and I just said, you know what? I'm going to write a garbage story with some garbage drawings, and I'm just going to upload it to KDP, which is Kindle Direct Publishing. And it's a free service through Amazon. That's what I used to publish my first few books. And I did. So I drew this cover and I drew a couple of really bad drawings on the inside. Some of them weren't too bad, but as you see, some of them are just, they're not edited at all. They're just photographs, actually, that I just uploaded and put them in there. And I requested a sample and I got it. And I was thoroughly expecting to be disappointed, let down, discouraged. I was like, this is just going to be my make it or break it moment. Is this something that I'm really going to pursue, like being an indie children's author? Or was it just kind of like a pipe dream? Because I don't really feel like I'm an artist in that way. Yes, I am a writer, but I'm not like a visual artist. So I got this book, and lo and behold, I was quite proud of myself. Compared to the actual drawing of this and how it turned out in the book, it was shocking that something that I created could actually turn out well in print. So I was motivated. I sat down, and for the next, I think it was 9 or 10 days, I sat down and I worked on this book, and I drew all the drawings and I uploaded them into another thing. well, the second thing before I go into it, the second thing that you need to do, aside from the first thing being making all the mistakes, is you need to set a budget. Now, my husband, like I said, he sprung for $200 worth of art supplies, and that was over a little bit of time. Like, as I needed something, he was like, okay, babe, let me get that for you. But you want to set a budget. If you have money to get illustrators and things like that, I think that might move you a little bit quicker than I did. And there are, services like Fiverr. I know you could reach out on Instagram even. There are a lot of artists on there. I've had people now that I've published contact me through Facebook. So there are people out there that are willing to do these kind of drawings for little of nothing, and some people are really expensive. So you can just go about it that way. But yeah, so I took that 9 or 10 days and I sat down and I drew and sketched and colored and scanned and edited. I used GIMP, which is free, and to edit my drawings, very simply, I just bumped up the hue saturation and leveled off the lights and the darks. That's it. Like I said, I don't know much about this stuff. I put everything on Canva. I, set the trim size, and I uploaded that PDF to KDP faster than you could say boo. And I got my sample. So once I got my sample, I went through and I read it and I edited it, and I really, this being my first book, I did make a lot of mistakes, and I'm okay with it. And yeah, I'm okay with it. Even after editing it and getting it back, once I got my final copies, I found that like I was a little redundant in some spots and things like that. And I think that will just come with time. I'll get better with that with time, and you will too. Everybody does. So I had some mistakes, but I just went for it. So when I got this sample, I went through and I marked in it and I edited it. I went right straight to KDP and I edited my work, my work, and I published it immediately. And it takes 72 hours or so to get it live. So I published it immediately. And then the next thing that you want to do, I did it this way. I think you can do it before you even start with getting samples and stuff like that, but you want to make sure that you copyright your work, because it may not seem like much now, but if this is something that you want to pursue and actually make a business out of, you want to protect your intellectual property. So I did what's called a poor man's copyright at first, and I just got a copy of my story, and I sent it in the mail to myself, and I taped the back of the envelope so it's just sealed shut and the postmark is on it. So if anybody comes out with this work later, I can just say, here you go. Now, currently I am in the process of getting actual copyrights, but you at least want to do something to protect your work immediately. I already said get samples. That's actually number 4 on my list, but I just went on ahead into it and fixed it immediately. But once you get everything published, so let me recap because I'm all over the place. You want to make all the mistakes, decide a budget, copyright your work, get samples, fix any issues, and then publish immediately, and then share it. Don't just publish it and wait for, the millions and millions of readers to just gravitate to your work. Share it so much with everybody. When I tell you my stomach was in knots sharing this first book, in knots. I think the book went live at like 9 o'clock in the morning, and I didn't share it until like 7:30, 8 o'clock at night. And the response was awesome. I'm going to say this. If you are nice to people, people will be nice to you back. And that's not necessarily that they're going to be able to come out of their pocket, because everybody doesn't have money to spend coming out of their pocket buying your stuff right away. But you will get their support. I got so much support from my friends and family that I was like standing as like I'm getting like notifications on my phone. I was in the grocery store standing there crying, and the manager had to come over I'm about to cry now. The manager had to come over and ask me if I was okay. Like, it's crazy. Like I just was overwhelmed with the support. So share it. And even if they're not able to buy it, ask people to share it for you, and it will just spread, and that's the beautiful thing about being nice to people. They will be nice back to you. So After I published this book, I got busy, and I started working on the garbage story. Now, this is not the final cover. Once I got the sample, I realized that I needed to rework this cover, and I just really didn't like the way that it looked. So I did change it. But yeah, I got to work right away. So this book published, The Twin Cousin's Birthday, I think it published on the 4th of July. And this following book, I think, let's see, it may have taken me 4 or 5 days to get all the drawings edited and put into the story and uploaded. I got the sample, so we'll say another week and a half later, because it takes a few days for you to get your sample. And then boom, I got it, I marked it up, I went in and I edited it, I uploaded it again, and I published. Boom, did it. And then guess what I did? I was sitting there on one story. It was another Raj and Adasa series. And this series, I think I will hire an illustrator because it's really difficult to illustrate for me, because the characters are actual like people that I know what they're supposed to look like. It's just hard for me. So I was working on a Halloween story for this that I will be publishing here in the next couple of weeks. And I just said, you know what? I gotta keep striking while it's hot. My goal is to publish 10 books by Christmas. So I just said, you know what? I'm gonna write another one of those I Can books, because my kid loved it, my friends' kids love it, and it's like sticks in their head. So I just decided to develop another series called the I Can series, and I wrote I Can Because I'm Kind. Once again, it was just like, what do they say? It's like kismet, you know? It just happened for me. I sat down, I wrote it the same day. I sketched out all the stories. It's like it's happening faster, you know? The more you do it, the more intuitive it becomes, and it just happens faster. So I wrote the story, I sketched it all out. This all happened on the same day. The next day, I think I had probably 50% of all the drawings painted, scanned, edited, oh my gosh, edited, and then I started working on the second half of the book. By the next day, I was requesting a sample. So it took me 6 years, about a week and a half, and then less than a week to finish a book. And it's just like, it's not always going to be that quick, but I was so motivated and I just kept striking. And I'm still going to keep striking. I'm not stopping. I'm just saying, if you feel nervous, write a garbage story and request a sample, or just request a sample of whatever it is you're working on. Even if you don't have all the pages done, even just if you're afraid, do it. You're the only one that's going to see it. Don't nobody have to know but you. So do it. And yeah, so that's in a nutshell, in a really long, weebly wobbly, wound out nutshell, how I published these first 3 books. And I'm going to continue to work on them. So if you are working on something and you needed encouragement, I hope this did that for you. And I would love to know in the comments if you're working on anything. If you are, please leave a link down below so that I can go and support you as well. And check out my books. I will leave a link to those below. If you like this, thumbs it up and subscribe. And I hope to see you again next time. Be blessed.